people and I love the work that I do. I truly care about individuals. I am the designer of my destiny, and I feel like I'm in a place in my life where I'm in control of the choices that I'm making and the path that I want to lead. Obviously, I discovered it through mentorship and through coaching and through individuals that I look up to and leaders that I look up to. Faith is the center of my life. I believe in God, and religion plays a big role on a day-to-day basis. Hey, my name is Hafsa. Thank you so much for taking your delightful time to be here and to listen me telling the story and allow you guys to know the challenges, the motivations, the aspirations that I learned with both Public Ally and PCN, and how a second-year ally defined me and the person that I am today, and most importantly, the path that I want to take on in the near future. There's two quotes that I truly stand by and believe in. The only journey is a journey within. And the most difficult thing in life is to know yourself. And personally, being a second-year ally has been a struggle for me to know who I am. I had an idea of who I am. I know what I value. I know my beliefs. But I think the trend that I'm going with it is to really, what is my purpose? What is my calling? What do I need to do? What do I need to achieve in the path that I want to lead in this world? I was able to achieve that goal, and this is how it all began. If it's up to me, it's up to me. I used to follow the crowd in social norms, but now I understand the differences in every individual and appreciate the uniqueness. I used to only think for the best, to work only for the best, but now I accept only the best. I used to be not forgetting the mistake of the past, but now I process on the greater achievement of the future as a leader. I used to be shy about sharing my asset and skills with others, but now I find myself sharing my leadership quality with the world. I did not have a forward-looking vision, but now as a leader, I am willing to share the vision with others. I used to blame others for my failure, but now I have the power to choose my attitude in any given circumstance. I used to be very emotional, but now I have the ability to recognize and understand my own emotions, mood, and motivations. I used to promise myself to be strong, but now nothing can destroy my peace of mind. I used to search to be a leader, but now I'm able to lead with examples. That to me defines how difficult it is to know yourself and to allow others to know you. I grew up in a culture where you are not allowed to be vulnerable with people. You're not allowed to be emotional with people beside your family member, beside your father, beside your mother. And I'm so fortunate enough to come to a country where not only is that allowed, but it's embraced. It's unique to do that. It's more than allowed to do that, and people encourage you to do that. As a public ally, being both first-year ally and a second-year ally, the major difference that I can tell from a year ago and where I am today is that I know the purpose of calling. I know what my purpose is. And PCN as an organization allowed me to define my purpose, allowed me to know what my path will be, where do I want to go into the future, and allowed me to be on board with the vision that they have. Looking back into the past, I had an uncle of mine and an aunt of mine who had a mental illness, and that was multiple personalities. Growing up, I remember them being alone in the room together, I remember them not being around the crowd. I remember them not coming to family gatherings. I lived there 22 years ago. I grew up in that environment where resources were not there. Culture was the only resources that we had. And people were afraid of people with mental illness. But if you're not mentally normal, you're just not part of the norm. You're not part of the society. You're not a person. I am so fortunate enough to help come into an organization that truly believes creating people of color in healthier communities. I love the people that we have the privilege to serve. I love helping them. I love challenging them. I love redirecting them. And I love motivating them. If anything, I wish my uncle and aunt and many other people with mental illness had those opportunities and had those ability to have an organization like PCN. What I can take and how did I grow this year professionally. I want to change the world and carry on the vision that PCN have in creating that atmosphere for individuals who are experiencing mental illness, individuals who struggle with mental illness. I was always passionate about it. In terms of changing it and wanting to change, but not having the opportunity as a young child to be in that circumstance, to have an organization like PCN, more so Public Ally. If it wasn't for Public Ally, I don't think I will be who I am today. And I'm grateful to be part of an organization, again, who had the compassion, who had the motivation, who had the energy and the capacity to deliver the best and to create the best. The reason why I personally echo a lot on PCN and the significant changes they made in my life, I live to those moments. I love being a young girl and seeing my aunt crying and not knowing the reason why she cried, or seeing her having a different personalities. One minute she used to call herself multiple names. One minute she'll be, I remember her calling herself Aisha, which is the devil in Arabic, and not knowing the purpose of why an individual would call themselves a devil, or why she will scream and pull her hair out and yell and run around the living room. And I couldn't fathom the idea at that age. I learned to not only know and educate myself what behavioral health is, what mental illness is, having the educational, but more so having the opportunity to meet individuals who live the same life as my uncle and aunt, who have the resources like PCN, who not only was I privileged of serving them and be part of their presence and getting to know them, getting attached to them, teaching them, again, redirecting them, is more than I could have asked for. If anything, I think that really hits me home. It brings a lot of memories. I'm so grateful and so happy to have this opportunity, and willing to, not only do I want to take this back internationally and help people understand really what behavioral health is and what mental illness is. There's a lot of personal growth that I made. Personally, I would say that I learned to work well and effectively with people. I I always know about myself that I'm very positive, I'm very motivated independently. I am a passionate person, but I learned this year that I don't do well working in a team. I learned to overcome that. I learned to challenge myself. I learned that one person can't change the world, and I learned that in behavioral health and in this arena, in this business, you cannot come up with the idea by yourself and only yourself. And one of the things that I would recall or take from it is to be honest and be open with communication, with work style, and willing to intertwine with that and work with that, and to hopefully produce the best work that we as a team can produce and bring to the table. I also learned that I most importantly have a voice. I can share a lot, and I can contribute a lot, and I can bring a lot of the qualities into the table. And I think it was more of a believing in myself that I want to change the world and that I have the capacity to change the world. But I'm in a point where this year I want to work with people and want to change the world with a core group of people. One of the things that really are significant moments of my life this year is when I was working on the chronic self-management program. One of the greatest mentors of my life that I learned was with Tomas Leone, our PCN CEO, and who taught me that you create what you respect. I was fortunate enough to have a great co-facilitator, and I think the reason why that particular project was so defining and so memorable in my head was that I was in my element. Again, it was the call of purpose, and I was with 14 individuals that shaped my life and changed my life. A lot of the clients that we had were challenges in so many ways, due to the mental illness that they have, but also due to the chronic conditions that they have and the challenges that they go through. Some of them were homeless, and some of them lived in facilities that they were not happy with, and it was really, really defining to build a relationship with them and allowing them into my life as they allowed me into their life. We had our struggles, we had our challenges along the way, but on the process of that, I imagine so many times I could have asked for a better position or a better place at the time when I'm with the clients. They taught me a lot, and in return I'm hoping that I also taught them a lot. I think I'm so grateful for it and so compelled, and would always be with me. They taught me that they can be who they are, but ultimately when you get to know them and you do home visits with them and you have lunch with them and you hang out with them on a day-to-day basis, I think ultimately what I learned was that we're all humans, despite the conditions that we have, despite the challenges that we are going through. And I learned to respect that in a great level. I would say my calling is direct service. I love helping individuals who are challenged. I love helping individuals that are not the norm of the society. I think it took me 2 years to come up with that and define really what the purpose and the calling is in that sense. But I'm glad and so fortunate enough, and will not give it for the world, with all the challenges that I faced to get to the point that I am today. Having the direction of God and having the direction of mentorship and putting myself out there and being compassionate and learning and educating myself, I think that's the point that I kind of got to where I am today.